Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. Today we are talking about ECMs. So basically, modern cars, it's almost impossible to maintain them without a good understanding of the computer systems. Back in the day, you used to be able to adjust your timing belt or setting your own fuel or air ratio. All those things you could do. Most of them are mechanical, and really didn't have to, any issues you would have really were mechanical instead of electrical. But these electrical issues could affect how your vehicle operates on a mechanical level, and what you think might be a mechanical problem could be caused by an issue with your car's computer. So basically, there are three computer systems in your car. The ECM is the engine control module, the PCM is the powertrain control module, and the TCM is the transmission control module. So basically, this video we're going to focus more on the common signs of ECM issues or ECM failures. And basically, these ECM failures could, these ECM failure symptoms could be your first warning of maybe serious engine issues. And for the most part, you shouldn't take them lightly if you guys have ECM issues. So basically, your ECM is responsible for making constant immediate adjustments to your engine. This pretty much includes managing the fuel to air ratio and engine timing, which are pretty much the primary functions of the ECM. So it also shares vital data with the PCM and the TCM, which controls the shifting, anti-lock brakes, and the traction control systems. So obviously, managing all of these functions is very complicated. In order to have the information it needs to do to do the job effectively, your ECM pretty much relies on info from a bunch of sensors, dozens of sensors, depending on which car you have. For this reason, the ECM failure symptoms actually lead to a broken sensor or faulty wire rather than failure of the ECM itself. And that's why a lot of times it's kind of complicated as far as figuring what might be causing your car's issue. So let's focus on the most common ECM failure symptoms. First thing you should look for is a check engine light. A lot of times, the check engine light is a pretty much, generally speaking, if your car has any kind of semi-serious issue, your check engine light's it's either going to blink or it's just going to illuminate on your dash. In a lot of times it ends up being nothing more than maybe an oxygen sensor or a tire pressure sensor. Sometimes that's connected to the check engine light, most of the time not, but sometimes it means that there might be a problem with your car's ECM. Generally speaking, the check engine light could be something you would seriously should worry about seriously, but a lot of times it's a lot of innocuous issues, and something as simple as maybe a loose gas cap could cause the check engine light to come on. But however, if you have a check engine light and you have more than a couple of symptoms, you might have a problem with your ECM. So another symptom of a bad ECM is your car won't start. Your engine is pretty complicated and a lot of times specific with the fuel and air ratio when it's starting up. So if your ECM is setting the ratio incorrectly, this will probably be the first time you notice. Issues include issues with starting up or having to turn a key half a dozen times to get the car turned over. And most of that is pretty much a sure sign of engine issue or possible sign that your ECM is to blame. Third symptom of bad ECM, maybe your engine stutters or misfires. A rich fuel to air ratio can cause your engine to misfire, while a lean ratio can cause stuttering when it periodically fails to ignite. A lot of problems can be caused directly by improperly adjusted engine timing. Either way, it's possible that your ECM might be the cause of your issue. Another thing that could be caused by the ECM is the sudden drop in fuel economy. Another way that your fuel to air ratio and engine timing affect your car's performance is in the realm of fuel economy. Now, this isn't typically a problem that happens, but it happens slowly over time. This isn't typically a problem that happens slowly over time. If you've watched a gas mileage slip downwards over the course of a few years, you may want to see a mechanic about the problem, but it's not your ECM. That said, if you've seen your mileage plummet over the course of a couple of weeks, your ECM or an attached sensor is likely the culprit. Sudden loss of acceleration is another symptom of a failing ECM or bad ECM. So pretty much the ECM works in conjunction with the TCM to make power adjustments for acceleration. While the TCM handles shifting, your ECM adjusts the throttle accordingly, giving the car relatively smooth, effortless shifting that might expect from an automatic transmission. When the ECM can't adjust the throttle properly, shifting can feel herky-jerky, as if you're in the car with a first-time driver learning to work a stick shift. Another symptom of bad ECM, your engine shuts off for no reason. That is another symptom of an improper fuel to air ratio. Generally, it happens if your vehicle is idling because the engine is running relatively slow and doesn't have a lot of momentum to keep it running. If there is a brief issue, if your car is stalling while you're at idle, you should have it looked at before the problem gets any worse. 7, rough or regular shifting. The problem is pretty much another thing that could be caused by a bad ECM is rough or irregular shifting. The problem is related to the loss of acceleration, but it happens when your ECM is sending bad data to your TCM. In this case, your TCM isn't getting the information it needs to shift at appropriate times. As a result, shifting can feel rough and clunky and can happen at inappropriate times, causing the engine to rev up or bog down. So how do you diagnose if any of these issues is caused by your ECM? Because any of these issues could be caused by a whole bunch of other things. All right, and this is a fact. Okay, it's problem with your ECM. Issues with your ECM. Your car's computer obviously is a little bit more difficult to it's a little bit more difficult to diagnose. You would need a whole variety of things to malfunction on you, because the ECM controls so many things. But the main way you can do this is if you have an OBD2, an OBD scanner. You guys can get one for $19 at Walmart, and pretty much you could just plug it in. Okay, and if you guys have any of these issues that I mentioned, you're gonna get codes. All right, P0600 code pretty much means that there's a problem with one of the sensors connected to the ECM. P0700 code means that there's an error with your PCM, and if you get one of those codes, Uh, the P0606 code is produced when there's a problem with your vehicle's PCM. Once again, all these systems are connected to each other. All right, all these systems are connected to each other, so you're gonna want to look at the codes and try to diagnose what exactly the problem is. But having an ECM failure doesn't mean that you guys, you know, should panic over it. A lot of times these problems are caused by issues with sensors or maybe a faulty wire. And the only way to really know this is if you guys actually put in the work to troubleshoot the issues. Now, if you guys do have an issue starting a crank no start issue, and you guys have pretty much diagnosed everything, checked out everything, and nothing seems to be everything else works, nothing seems to be causing it. Here's what you guys do, okay? If the ECM failed, like there's an issue with the ECM where there's no connection to any of the components of the car. Now, this is an actual failure of the ECM itself if you guys have this situation. And to know this, what you're going to do is you want to plug in the OBD2 scanner. See if it scans all the way through. If it scans halfway and it stalls on scanning halfway and it doesn't scan all the way through, and you checked out everything else, chances are that ECM is the issue of your problem, because there's no communication with the car's computer to your car. And a lot of times that's going to cause no start issues, but a lot of times that's going to cause a crank no start issue. So in that case, you're going to have to change out the ECM, because that actually means that the ECM is actually malfunctioning. It's not communicating with any of the sensors itself, any of the mechanical components of the car, any of the electrical components of your car. All right. So obviously, this issue of the ECM is not a simple thing to figure out. You're gonna want to troubleshoot everything else just to make sure that you cover all your bases as far as what could be causing it. If you get into a situation where you plug in an OBD2 scanner and it scans halfway through, it doesn't scan all the way through, won't give you a readout at all, definitely at that point you know the ECM is the issue and you need to change the ECM. All right, that's pretty much as simple as that, as far as the ECM itself being the issue and not a sensor where the ECM is reading that there's a sensor issue. All right, so if you guys have any kind of personal experience with this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Maybe it'll help somebody else out. Please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. All right guys, take care.